Did you hear about the woman on TikTok whose husband was cheating on her for 3 years? No, because listen to this carefully. So apparently this woman had found out that her husband was cheating on her for 3 years. Not a one-off, not a mistake, a lifestyle. And when she found out, she didn't scream, she wasn't crying. No, she didn't confront him. She stayed quietly and stacked her money up so that when she did leave him, she would be financially secure. She then allegedly slept with her husband's father. Yes, his dad. And not only that, she then went and got purposefully pregnant by him. Fast forward, she finally leaves her husband and shows him the ultrasound pictures and explains to her husband that he's not the father. But she wasn't done there. She then proceeds to go straight to her husband's mother, her mother-in-law, and show her the ultrasound pictures too. And this time she explains to the mother-in-law who the father of the baby is. So now the parents are obviously fighting. The mother-in-law files for divorce from her husband. And then do you want to know the cheek of the story after all of that? She says about 2 days after all of this went down, the woman went and got a termination. Literally just caused destruction in her husband's family and then made a clean exit. Women are not playing in 2026, clearly.
Hi ladies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Miss Kafue. So this is our first video about story times in 2026 and I hope you'll enjoy it so far. I know you've enjoyed the first clip and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the video. So without further ado, let's jump right into this video and then I'll be back to give my take on it.
I told my baby father that I don't trust one of his friends because I think that he wants to touch our son. Do you know what this man said? Well, aside from me getting cursed out, getting called all types of bitches and hoes and this and that, he told me don't bring the baby to his house no more. Because I told him if I'm going to bring my baby over there or our baby over there, the man can't be there. He told me that man lives here. Mind you, he lives on his couch, pays no bills, has no job, and brought like 5 fucking dogs. And he's gonna tell me that man lives there. So his son cannot come see him no more because I feel like that man wants to touch my child. So I'm letting y'all know, all the people that know him, that be watching me, that like to report back to him, all these things, he's gay. All right, I'm ending 2025 accepting the fact that he's really gay. We be joking about that shit. Everybody used to joke about it, but I think it's real, y'all. Because now I just don't understand. He always has a man living with him, can't live by himself, and now you're defending a man over your blood child.
One day when I was 7, my mom woke me up for school and was like, hey, after school, we're not coming home. We're gonna go live with Bud. And I was like, who's Bud? And my mom's like, you know that girl Josie who's in your class at school? And yeah, her dad, we're gonna go live with them. And I was like, okay, so like you, me, my older sister, and my dad? And my mom's like, well, yeah, but not your dad. He's not coming. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, after school, my mom picks up me and my sister, and instead of going home, we go to an apartment. Now remember, I'm 7 years old, but I've been so sheltered and coddled my entire life that I was basically like a 5-year-old. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just rolling with it. So we walk in and it's mostly empty. There's a futon in the living room. And then I see something that looks really familiar. I'm like, we have that same vacuum. And it's even broken in the same spot. How weird. And my mom's like, that's our vacuum. We live here now. And I was like, oh yeah, right. So I'm just starting to absorb this information when, guess who walks in the door? Josie. Yeah, the girl that bullies me at school. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm living here now with Josie and her older sister Jenna and this man that I guess I've met before a couple times, briefly, very briefly. So I'm like, where's our bedroom? And my mom shows me an empty bedroom. And I'm like, and so in my brain, I'm like, okay, so naturally you, mom, and me and our sister, like we're gonna share a bedroom and then they're all gonna share another bedroom. And my mom's like, no, I'm gonna share a room with Bud. And I'm like, huh? And then I see that they have a king-sized bed in their room. And I'm like, you're gonna sleep in a bed with this guy? Where's dad? And mind you, I had always slept in between my parents in their bed. I was terrified of sleeping alone. So I'm like, I'm gonna be sleeping in this bed with Bud too? And my mom's like, no, you're gonna sleep in this other room. And I'm like, I can't sleep with you? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, where's my bed? And she's like, oh, we're gonna get you guys beds soon, but you guys are gonna sleep on the floor tonight. Oh yeah, by the way, this is in the middle of a school week. This is like a Tuesday, okay? Holy trauma. Okay, so my mom's like telling me that I need to go take a bath, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. can you help me out with that? You know, because I've never taken a bath alone before. I don't know how to do that. And my mom's like, you can figure it out. Just turn on the water. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I've never taken a bath before, and I've never been in this particular bathtub. I don't know how to, what? Mom? Mom? And my new stepsisters, Josie and Jenna, are standing there, and they're like, you don't know how to take a bath? Why don't you just take a shower? And I'm like, I don't take a shower, I take a bath. I don't know how to do it. I've never done it before. And they're like, oh my God, you still take baths and you don't even know how to run the water on your own? And I'm like, no, I don't. Because in the past, my mom, A, never taught me, and B, anytime I wanted to do something independent like that, I was told that I'm not allowed to. I would get in trouble if I had done that yesterday, but now I'm expected to do it. And obviously, I'm like so embarrassed in this moment. And I think I started crying, honestly. And now Jenna and Josie, like, they already thought I was weird, but now they like really think I'm weird. And I feel weird. I feel so weird. So I end up taking this bath. I don't even remember how that went. And when I get out, I'm ready to go snuggle up with my mom and watch some shows. But oh, hey, no, she's in the bedroom with Bud and the door is locked. So I'm knocking. I'm like, Mom, like, it's evening time. Like, this is the time where we like watch TV together and like hang out, cuddle. And apparently not. Apparently I'm bothering them and I'm supposed to be just doing something, whatever, with the other kids in the house. So I'm like so scared and so traumatized because I'm like I had a very insecure attachment with my mom, had never really been away from her. And now like I'm locked out of her room. I can't sleep with her. And I'm going to sleep on the floor with two girls. One I don't really know and the other one bullies me at school. And my sister, who also hated me. So this was a 3-bedroom apartment, and I was meant to sleep in a bedroom with my older sister, and Josie and Jenna were in the other bedroom. But in the night, Josie was like, hey, do you guys want to switch? Me and Josie in one room, and Jenna and my sister in the other room. So I end up sleeping with Josie that night, and we're all on the floor, is whatever. And we kind of bond, because like we have to. So the next day we get up and we all go to school together. We go to class as usual, and then lunchtime rolls around. Josie comes up to me and she's like, hey, come here. Invites me to sit at her table with like the cool older kids. Remember, they're 3rd grade. I'm a weird 1st grader. But I sit down and Emily is so confused. Like, she probably thought that Josie was bringing me over as like a sacrifice. Like, this is like a joke, a prank on me or something. And she gives Josie a look like, what are you doing? And Josie says to her, you can't be mean to her anymore because she's my stepsister now. Let me know if you want to hear more because there is a lot.
So, not even 24 hours ago, I discovered that my long-distance boyfriend of over 4 months has been cheating on me this entire time, so I guess let's talk about it. Back in July, I decided for my birthday that I wanted to fly to Portland to surprise my best friend who had moved there about 4 years ago. So, I flew in on July 24th, which was a Thursday, and we spent our first night together just going to dinner and hanging out. And then that Friday, July 25th, me and my best friend and her boyfriend decided to go bar hopping in downtown Portland, where we met a group of guys that happened to recognize me from social media, and we went and hung out with them at the table that they were standing at. And the guy that was standing next to me was really engaging in conversation, and he seemed kind of interested, and he had asked me what my plans were for the rest of the weekend. And I had told him that the following day we had planned on going to a Timbers game, to which he said that he actually was going to that game too, and that he even had an extra ticket. So he gave his extra ticket to me, and we all went to that same Timbers game together. So that following day was July 27th, a Sunday, my birthday, and we had invited him to come to the coast with us because we decided to go to Seaside for my birthday. And he came, he joined us, and he even asked if he could take me to dinner for my birthday and drive me to the airport the next day. So I didn't even spend my last night of my trip with my best friend. And she was in full support of it because he just seemed like such a genuine, nice guy who seemed really interested in me. So he took me to dinner for my birthday, and he drove me to the airport at 5 a.m. when it was time for me to head back to Arizona. That same night that I came back to Arizona, he actually FaceTimed me, and we had decided that we wanted to stay in contact and see where things could go. So exactly a week after I got back, he flew out to come see me. He had let me know that he was navigating a divorce, but that he had been about 3 months separated at that point. And he said he hadn't even slept with his wife in 2 years. So I really didn't think too much of it. And at that point in time, I really didn't think it was a red flag because of the fact that he was open and transparent about it. Now, something that's incredibly upsetting is that a couple weeks later, he flew out to New York for his aunt's celebration of life, and his birthday happened to fall during that trip. So he had decided after the celebration of life that he would stay the night with a friend who he knew from back home in Portland that now lives in New York. And on his birthday, there was a fantasy football podcast called The Ringer that was hosting a show in New York on his birthday. And he was texting me that he was still on the wait list and it didn't look like he was going to be able to get in. So I personally reached out to The Ringer and left them a very heartfelt message about the fact that my boyfriend's had a very rough year. He was navigating a divorce. He was in New York under sad circumstances, having lost his aunt. And I just said, you know, I would really love to make his birthday if I could get him 2 tickets to that show. And they ended up reaching out to me and they got him VIP tickets to the show, and he got to meet the cast, and they all wrote a birthday card for him, all telling him that he had an amazing girlfriend. At this point, he's calling me regularly, he's texting me regularly, he's telling me that he's bragging to all his friends about me and the amazing things that I've been doing for him and how I'm just such a good girlfriend. And fast forward to September, he comes and visits me for 4 days. We have an amazing time. And then I decide that I'm going to book a flight to see him the first weekend of October and then again for Halloween. So I flew out to Portland to visit him the first weekend in October. That went perfectly fine. And then for my trip to see him for Halloween, 2 of my friends wanted to come, get to know him, spend some time with him, scope him out, see how he interacts with people in his city, in his environment. So the day before we are supposed to fly out to Portland, he calls me in hysterics and says that his uncle had a stroke and that he actually will be flying out of Portland the day that I fly in to see him. So the entire time that I was in Portland, I was devastated knowing that I was in my boyfriend's city and that I would not get to see him because he had told me that he flew out to Austin, Texas to visit his uncle in the hospital because they weren't sure if he was going to survive the stroke. So a little over a week went by and he had let me know that his uncle was being discharged from the hospital and that they felt he was going to make it, and that he was flying back to Portland, and that as soon as he got back, he would make sure to make it up to me and book a flight to come see me. So 2-3 weeks later, he is supposed to come see me, and an hour before he is supposed to be heading to the airport to come see me, he calls me to let me know that that uncle had a second stroke and died. So you could imagine my surprise when on Monday this week I decided to look up his uncle on Facebook and see that he was actively posting. I don't understand how a dead person could actively be posting on Facebook. So I confronted him on the matter, and he admitted that the entire time I was in Portland, he was also in Portland on Halloween. He claims that he had checked himself into a mental health hospital and that he was just too embarrassed to talk to me about his mental state, and that he really wishes that he would have just chosen to be vulnerable and let me be there for him. So yesterday I decided to catch my boyfriend off guard and randomly asked him if I could see his phone. And he opened his text messages fully thinking that there would be none because he was actively deleting them as they would come in. But one happened to come in as I asked to see his phone, and he was texting someone that, well, let's just say she wasn't me. So I reached out to his ex-wife, and she had explained that the woman whose name I saw on his phone was the same woman that she found out he was having an affair with back in July. So I met him on July 25th, and his ex-wife had kicked him out on July 2nd. So he was not separated for as long as he told me he was. And the girl who he was texting while he was with me, he had been in a relationship with for 3 years. And he had just moved in with her in October, which is when he magically stopped calling and FaceTiming me due to his mental health issues. So I am the side piece to the side piece, and that is the story of my dating life.
I caught my coworker at the hospital having an affair on her husband with the doctor, and this is how I found out. I'm not going to be naming any names or hospital locations because I ain't trying to break up families, but oh my gosh, you're going to want to stick around for this one because the tea is piping. So there's this one nurse that I worked with. She was married and had a 2-year-old daughter at the time. And we knew that she was having like some issues with her marriage just because she had like been telling us some stuff. And a lot of the nurses suspected that she may be having something going on with this doctor just because of the way they interacted at work and whatever. But she firmly denied it. She's like, no, absolutely not. I would never have an affair on my husband, like especially with that doctor. Ew, that's disgusting. So we were like, okay, but you could kind of tell something might have been going on. Okay, like I'm going to demonstrate for you how she would go ask this doctor a question. She would lean over his desk. Oh, Dr. So-and-so, we have a patient. Okay. She was handing off a report to me one day, and we had these little phones that we used, and that's how we communicated with each other. Like, you know, you would ask a doctor a question that way, or you could send a message to the lab, whatever. Usually when you hand off your phone to another nurse, you're supposed to log out because this is like confidential information, right? She didn't log out. She didn't log out of her phone. She just handed it to me. I didn't realize she didn't log out. So when I go into my phone to ask someone a question, I see the last message that was in there was to the doctor from her. And it's just there. What do you want me to do? Not read it? It says, meet me in the stairwell down by the lab. Dun, dun, dun. This stairwell could only be used by employees, so you had to have a badge to scan in to go down to the stairwell. So it was like not a lot of people used it. It was a very low traffic area in the hospital, if you know what I mean. Baby, I didn't stop there. I had to keep reading. I had to. Meeting in parking lots, in closets, in the hospital. Like, babes, it was scandalous. And so that's how I found out. Now, I will tell you, I am not a homewrecker, and what they did was really none of my business, even though she handed me all of the information. So, and they ended up getting caught anyways, just based off of their pure sloppiness. So, but you would be surprised how often this happens. I have so many stories. Drop in the comments if you work in a hospital, if you've experienced anything like this before, because the stories are wild.
Am I the asshole for doing this to my ex-husband's mistress? This is day one of telling crazy life stories until TikTok gets me out of this shadow ban. Let's go. All right, so I knew my ex-husband was cheating on me, but I finally got actual proof. I found messages on his Apple Watch that he accidentally left home, had the proof, neither here nor there. So when I found out he was cheating, I packed up a bunch of my stuff, including my dogs, and I left, and I went to my parents' house. And I didn't come back for, I think it was, 2 or 3 days. I was totally out of my house, didn't even go back to check on it or anything for 2 or 3 days. So over the course of those couple of days, he decided to move his mistress into my home, where he, I guess, assumed that I was just gone forever and him and his mistress were going to live a happy little life in my bed. After a couple days had passed, I went back to the house while I knew he was working, and I went inside and all of her stuff is in my house, including her toothbrush. And so I did the classy thing, and I took her toothbrush and I took his toothbrush and I cleaned all of the toilets in my house with them. Didn't say a word to him. I actually changed my phone number the second I found out he was cheating. I left the house and went straight to AT&T and changed my phone number. So I cleaned the toilet bowls, all of the toilet bowls, with both of their toothbrushes, and I quietly put them right back exactly where they were. And I left the house again. And I let them go back to the house, and I let them think that they're living their perfect little life in my home, sleeping in my bed, using my bathroom to brush her disgusting teeth. And then I got a restraining order, and they both got kicked out of my house, and I took over the house until the divorce was over. Neither of them were allowed on the property without a police escort. Neither of them were allowed anywhere near the property without a police escort. And to this day, I hope one of them sees this video because I have not told a single person this story, other than my current husband, until now. I thought I would die on this story. But lucky for me, they are so far gone and out of my life that I'm feeling confident and comfortable sharing this story with the world. Will they see this post? Maybe. Do I care? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Am I the asshole, or did they deserve this?
Basically, my mom was gonna get married to this man. Well, they did get married. But before they got married, they decided to do everything that they were supposed to do. They didn't sleep with each other. They had a big church wedding. They even went and got tested for STDs. At the STD clinic, they stood in front of each other in front of the doctor. She said to him, "Oh, I'm clean, I'm good, I'm tested, I don't have anything." She said the same thing for him. She didn't look at the papers, thought nothing about it. They get married. They even moved to South Carolina. Mind you, we're originally from Florida. They get married. I don't go with them. I'm like 5 years old at this time. My mother gets pregnant, and so then she goes into the doctor. And they call her back afterwards. She's used to this because she has diabetes, and normally they call you back and say, "Hey, you have diabetes, you need to be more careful." No, they said to her, "Hey, you have HIV." She was like, "What do you mean I have HIV? I've been with the same man. What do you mean?" Mind you, this is 2005. They don't know as much about HIV as they do now. And so primarily that happened with gay couples. But gay people aren't the only people who can get HIV, of course. So she finds this out and she's like, "Oh my God, what?" They also tell her, "You're pregnant with twins." So she doesn't tell anybody for about a month just because she's so stressed and she's in shock. And so she finally tells him, and the first thing he says is, "Please don't tell anybody." And he also told her, no one else will love you. You have to stay with me, all this crap. She calls my grandparents. They come and get her. She takes everything she came into that marriage with. And the only thing she left him with was a microwave. Period. She comes home and she tells a few family members. And so my aunt calls her and it's like, "Hey, turn on the news." There's a story on the news where one person knowingly infected the other person with an STD. And they got prison time because it's illegal. So then she realized, hey, this is a crime. And so we have a family friend who's a police officer. She tells him and he's immediately like, oh my God. He starts crying. He immediately goes, "We need to get him on a two-way call and have him admit it. If he admits it, then we can get him in trouble with the South Carolina laws instead of the Florida laws." And the reason they were trying to get him in trouble with the South Carolina laws is because South Carolina gives a bigger punishment than Florida. Are we shocked? No. So she gets him in this two-way call and they start talking, and basically he's being not a good person, but she gets him to admit it, and that's very important. They send out a national warrant for his arrest. He's from a very small town, Greenville, South Carolina, right? So in Greenville, South Carolina, on the news, they're like, "If you slept with this man, you need to go get tested." Why? That same day, the testing line is out the door. Everybody's going to get tested because everybody slept with this man. He slept with and knowingly infected over 200 people. Right. I was like, what? Oh my God. 200 men and women. So not just women, baby. It's insane. That is a crime. One of the people he slept with was his boss. He worked at a pretty big company. I think it was like something. I don't know. It was a big company. He slept with his boss. The boss went to go get tested and found out she was infected. When she found out she was infected, her partner also found out they were infected, but she didn't talk to him. This woman ghosted everybody because she was just so in shock and she needed to process it. Mind you, this is a pretty big deal, and so she wanted to process it. She didn't talk to her ex at all. And so we're gonna pause that story for a second and jump to now. A few months ago, me and my mother had to go back to Greenville, South Carolina, where most of this took place, and go to court because he hadn't been paying child support for the twins. As we go here, it's just such a synchronistic day. And we're meeting so many people and just talking with them and having a really good time. We start talking to this one lady and we're telling her this story because it's just the vibe to share. It's a very interesting story. So we get to the part of the story that me and you are in right now. And my mom is saying, yeah, he slept with his boss and she found out she was infected. She completely ghosted the guy that she was with just because she was in such shock. And he was also in shock. So this man is just going crazy because it's she won't talk to me. I'm also infected. I don't know anything. And so we're telling the lady the story and my mom goes, yeah, so my ex-husband's boss is walking out of her garage on Mother's Day. The lady that we're talking to, she goes, wait, you mean the lady that walked out of her garage on Mother's Day and her boyfriend shot her to death? Oh my God, that was my aunt. we're sitting here telling this lady this story, and then she starts finishing the story for us because the lady, the boss, that was her aunt. So we're just like, what the heck? What do you mean that was her? Like, what? Do you know how small of a world it is? And she was like, yeah, I was young when that happened, so I didn't really know like why she passed away or like what the true cause of her death was. I just heard that like it was a tragedy and he just went crazy and shot her. We had no idea that this was why, and it was linked to that case. So we're just like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. And the way everything just connected was literally insane, guys. Like, but basically the twins' dad, the one who infected my mother, he went to prison for about 5 years. He's out now and not paying child support, obviously. That's why we had to go to the courthouse. But after that, my mom became an HIV advocate. She's really well known on Facebook, and I believe her face is in a bunch of like museums around the country. Oh, and she was so stressed from all of this and from finding out she had HIV that she actually had my twin siblings at 4 months. They were not supposed to live. Do you know how hard it is to have a baby at 4 months and keep them alive? It's a miracle. The twins do have disabilities now. Definitely probably as a result of being born too early. My brother has cerebral palsy and my sister has autism. Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. We're all living now. Everybody's pretty fine. My mom, when she was an HIV advocate, which she technically still is, she'd go around speaking this story to schools, churches, anybody who like wanted her to come and, speak about it, telling people to practice safe, intercourse. And of course, always see the papers if you're going to be tested with somebody. Do not take their word for it. Oh, the biggest part is the doctor knew that he was lying, but couldn't say anything because of the HIPAA Law Privacy Act, which is so crazy to me. But yeah, we gotta finish up this green juice. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I'm gonna go make this and drink it. If you'd like to follow her Facebook is Renee Burgess Ladybird Live. Just look up the Renee Burgess story on YouTube or Facebook or honestly Instagram, and it'll pop up. Thanks for listening. Follow for more story times.
And the reason why I don't have no friends is because I let my ex-boyfriend beat my ex-girl best friend up. I'm gonna try to keep this short. My ex-best friend had got an apartment with her boyfriend, but she ended up forging his name on the lease instead of hers, or even added her name to the lease. So whenever they get into it, he'll always put her out or call the police on her so she could just leave. At the time, I think she was into it with her grandma and her family, so she could not go over their house. So she had called me like, can I come over with you? I'm like, yeah, you can come over, but I am finna watch my boyfriend baby. She like, okay, cool. I instantly called my boyfriend because he's a funny acting nigga. Like, he did not like nobody touching his child, like even my nephews and nieces, or being around his baby. So I'm like, my best friend finna come over with you. And he did not like her because I used to tell him grimy ass shit she used to do to me. Like, I would send her this person I wanted to talk to and tell her like, yeah, I found them cute, attractive, and the next week she'll be talking to that person. We in a FaceTime group chat playing Fortnite with each other. Like, I ain't just tell you I was trying to pursue that person, but okay, cool. He instantly like, I don't want her touching my baby, woo. I'm not even gonna bring the baby because she got herpes and and that shit probably transmittable. Even though I don't think it was transmittable, he just really felt like he didn't even want me around that girl. Like, he like, if she used the bathroom, go wipe off the toilet seat after her, like, he was on that. But me, that's been my friend for a long ass time, so I'm like, I met her without it. Like, that's my homegirl. I'm not about to look at her different or treat her different. He like, you can't smoke with her. She probably be fucking and sucking, kiss her nigga, and you smoking with her. You can catch that shit. I don't know. So he like, I'm not even bringing a baby. I'm finna come get my game from your house. So he got a little attitude because my best friend coming over. So she ended up coming over. She came in. She like, I'm about to go with these niggas. I'm like, I can't go. I'm finna come grab his game. So she had left. He had came. Mind you, we into it because he mad that she coming over and I can't watch the baby now. So he got his gang talking about, am I coming home tonight? I'm like, yeah, you can come over tonight. He talking about, so she gotta go. She walking in the house. As she's walking in the house, he like, she gotta go. But he didn't hear her coming in the house. All you hear her say is, bitch, these niggas. I shook my head at her like, no, don't tell your business right now. Don't do it. He like, bitch, these niggas what? Like, he repeated exactly what she said. He like, who the fuck is that? She see him. She like, oh, where your baby at? And then she handed me a cup of liquor like, here, you want some? Mind y'all, it's her cup. So I'm like, he finna leave. Can you go upstairs for a second? Because obviously he irritated with me right now. I don't need y'all to argue. He like, tell her she gotta go. Tell her she gotta go. I'm not about to tell her she gotta go. And he like, bitch, that's why she be talking about you. And she like, and that's why the fuck she be talking about you too. I said, wait a minute, what I got to do with this? So I'm like, friend, can you just go upstairs right now? He finna leave out. She's steady. I fight my nigga. You ain't finna be talking to me crazy. I'm not going upstairs. Mind y'all, I keep asking her, can she go upstairs? She's walking away. She grabs an ice tray, proceeds to throw that bitch at him. Keep saying, I fight my nigga all the time. She get to talking about his baby again, talking myself, go take care of that baby. I said, wait, he take care of his baby. All you know is he swung his hand from around me and punched her in her shit one time, and he grabbed his game. He was finna walk out. He walking out. Why the fuck she run up trying to hit him? Hit me in the back of the head. When I tell y'all my shit was banging, I was like, I don't know, like that hit really hurt. All I know is he slid past me. He said, bitch, you hit my motherfucking woman. He said, bitch, learn how to motherfucking aim. She on the floor. I'm like, no, I'm grabbing him. I clicking my head. I start grabbing him like I'm swinging this nigga up off of her. He grabbed his shit. He left out. Mind y'all, his cousin was on the phone, my phone call, because he called the phone, like trying to figure out what's happened. She steady screaming, da da da, this nigga just put his hands on me, da 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 da. And I bust out laughing because his cousin was like, bro, I wish she had shut the fuck up. So she thought I was laughing at her, but I don't know, like my head was hurting, like I was going through it. So the police had came. They had asked me outside. I'm like, I don't know nothing. Like I was really like on some, I don't know whose side to be on right now. And I do regret that decision, but hey, it happened. So I just told him, like, I'm a minor. I can't even speak to y'all right now. I did get him an address though, because you can't, that's my best friend. Like, if y'all ever want to go pick him up, the address right there. But that's how me and my best friend end up stop being best friends.
When I received the "I'm coming to you as a woman" text message early this goddamn morning. Ha! Coming to me as a woman. Please let me just mix my drink. Some wine, make a zobo sangria. Step down. One of my friends and I, we've been couch potatoes for the last few months. In fact, we have become the couch. Forget the potato. We don't go to no blood clot place. Her, because of just work and adulting and life in general. As for me, apart from adulting, social anxiety is kicking me in the ass. Ever since I started this social medium stuff, I never know what to expect when I go out. Like the other day I went out and I met some besties. Granted, they were sweet, they were lovely, but tell me why a stranger touched my lip. Oh brother, ew. What's that? I've always been someone that likes staying at home, but I've never been a homebody like this. But going out has just become like such a chore. And to make matters worse, with Lagos, you can go to like so many different places. Trust me, you guys have more of an option or more options than Abuja. I swear, if I want to go out in Abuja, there's only 3 places I can think of right now. Every time I want to go out, I have to go to those places. So I also had to reduce a bit. Like, I'm not trying to go to the club and the bouncer is greeting me like, auntie, welcome back. We don't want that. We don't want that. But mysterious body in the mud. Misogyny kind of ate with that one. Stay at home, girls. Like, you actually don't have to go out. Like, leave some mystery for the end. Come on. I said, let me be a little bit scarce and mysterious too. Anyways, point is, we have been in isolation. So like, let's go catch up. I don't know how catching up one thing led to another. We're like, alright, let's go out. I have to put on my black tight mini skimpy dress, you know, because me have not gone out in a long time. I wanted to show up and show out. Even my friend who was giving sexy, and we had like a couple other girls there, so it was like a whole girls night. And you know me, girls night literally feed my soul. Like, and when I'm going for girls night, I'm ready to be dancing on tables. Like, that's the vibe. We're having a blast, like actually on the sofa, like, wow, we are living it up. And I feel like in Nigeria, first of all, let me backtrack you a little bit. You know how clubbing in Nigeria can be like for women? You can't just get into places wearing heels, this da 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 da. I mean, Abuja is less strict in terms of dress code and stuff, but then on a popping day, it might be hard to get a table as a woman, but we were able to get ourselves a table. Our table was like in a place where other tables were in like a section. We're shot in a pit of sections. Obviously, as cuties that we are, and Nigerian men being Nigerian men, one of the guys from another section offered to buy our drink. We had already ordered our drink, by the way, having already budgeted that this is what we want to spend, this is what we want to buy, this is what we want to do. Homeboy was like, oh my god, you cuties, I'm gonna pay the bill. Back to dancing on tables. Me, I was on a chair, I was having a good time. And one thing you don't see is Nigerian girls having a good time. Like, I'm no offense, like a lot of girls will go to the club or go somewhere in Nigeria and literally sit down and be boning their face and be so angry that they're not having fun. Worst part is they'll be angry that you are having having fun, and they'll be staring you down. DJ's giving you, we can pay for, we can hand back. Imagine me actually paying attention to anybody. That's how one Shrek ogre looking guy, God forgive me, he just carries that his long hand, puts it in our drink section, takes our drink, starts pouring it for, there's like 2 other babes in this on the side. So I'm looking at homegirls looking at me like, what the hell? I think the guy had done it because the other guy had offered to pay, and apparently he had heard that. Now that's when I clocked that he was the girlfriend of the guy group. Doing their thing, we were doing our own thing. Homeboy girlfriend of the group now that looks like an ogre literally comes and he's like,
yo girl, you're so beautiful, do you know that?
Who you talking to? Like, cause she can't be here. Like, I literally like move. In my next life, I need the audacity men have, because the only thing stopping me from becoming Jeff Bezos right now is literally the audacity that men have. Because why would you see me? I'm literally vibrating of anger. Why would you see me and you have the effrontery, the nerve, the temerity, the audacity to chat to me everywhere? I just moved shut because I was like, he can't be talking to me. Let me clear any confusion he might have had in his ogre brain. Lo and behold, before our very sight, this guy goes to his friend who's offering to pay, takes some money from him. You know that ratchet thing they do in Nigerian clubs where they spray money? I can't lie, I'm not a fan of it. Like, I might have done it once or twice just because of peer pressure. If you want to give me money, just send me the money, or better still, get me all the bundles, put it in a bag and give it to me. Like, I don't believe in that spray money thing. I think it's ratchet as hell. And then what now happens when they spray the money, like all these waitresses and waiters are like literally grabbing you, and like, I'm so sorry, I have soft skin, I'm scared of paper cuts. So he goes to his friend, takes out of a pack of mint, he now shares it into 3 or 4 for all of us. Bear in mind, max, this is like 10k each, and then he starts spraying the 10k, and we're just like, can you stop? Like, you're actually harassing us. We're on our own section, you didn't get this section for us. Like, we have no business with you. Like, why can't you just let us have our girls' nights in peace? This guy just slopping about, he's coming, asking for my number, this, that. I was like, this is why I don't go out. Like, men want to take everything from us. They don't even want us to have a good time. Why do you have to be a part of my story of tonight? Like, why are you forcing? I've clearly made it so clear to you that you're not welcome. That happens, we ignore the guy. Everybody goes their own separate way. You go your way, I go my way. We all go our own heavenly way. Tell me why I woke up. My eyes, I'm seeing something. I'm seeing, hey girl, I know you don't know me, but I'm just coming to you as a woman. I said, see, before I continue this story, the next person to come to me as a woman, I swear, you will kneel down and raise up your hand, and I'll take a video of you and you will apologize to me and the whole world. Because why are you coming to me as a woman? Don't come to me as a man, a woman, any gender. Don't come to me. I said, is it because of social media? Is it because I'm on social media? You will find my Instagram and you send me a DM and say I'm coming to you as a woman. Huh? What kind of embarrassment? I literally told him, the last thing I said to him, if you actually interrupt my night again, I will kick you. And I'm wearing 6-foot heels. I will actually kick you. Coming to me as a woman that he was trying to chat to me, but apparently you guys are having a thing. That's what the girl said in the text message. They're having a thing. Is that how you don't behave? You got a thing. First of all, how is that my personal concern? He was literally the fidgety girlfriend of the group. Oh, calling all his friends like, boss, this, collecting money for his friend, picking up drink, pouring for everybody, like the girlfriend that needed to earn her place in the group. And you see me, Ima, there's one thing I'm proud of from carrying from my house is shame. Some of you don't have shame. You can never feel embarrassed. You can never have shame. Because how is this man literally the girlfriend of the group? And how can you see me? How can you see me? Hey, God. Best believe my mom gave me small shame somewhere as I head out every day. When I step out of my house, there's some form of shame in one of my pockets. And if it's not in my pocket, it is somewhere.
So a few weeks ago, I had to end things with somebody that I was dating because he spent the night one night, and then the next morning he used my bathroom, didn't flush the toilet, and left pee all over the seat, and then proceeded to lay in my bed and chill on his phone while I was in the kitchen cooking him breakfast. And then after he ate breakfast, he didn't even offer to help clean up and just left everything out on the counter. And until this happened, there really weren't any major red flags that I had noticed until I started reflecting on little things that were bothering me here and there of things that he was doing on our other dates. Because these weren't like outwardly huge red flags to the point where I was just going to stop talking to him. But now that I have all of this information and I'm putting all the pieces together, I'm like, okay, that's why all of these things were bothering me. So on our 4th date, we went bowling and we had to wait for our lane to be ready, and there was a bar in that same place. So we just decided to go sit at the bar, and he was like, are you gonna drink tonight? And anyone that knows me knows that I don't drink, but every once in a while I'll have something. So I was just like, you know what? Sure, tonight I'll have a drink. He then tells me that he forgot his wallet at home that has his license in it, and he's gonna show his license on his phone to the bartender if like she tries to card us. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not gonna work. They're gonna require a physical copy of your license for this to work. So of course the lady cards us. He tries showing his ID on his phone and she's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need your actual license. And he didn't outwardly say anything, but I could tell that he was like fuming on the inside, which again, I feel like anyone knows in 2025 that typically you can't get away with showing your ID on your phone. So neither of us get a drink and we go over because there's a pool section right there and we start playing pool. A few minutes into playing, he is like, hey, I have an idea. What if you go to the bar and you order your drink, wait a few minutes, and then go up and order my drink? And I was like, that's not gonna work because they're totally gonna catch on to the fact that I'm ordering a drink for both you and me. But I agreed to it anyway because I was like, whatever. He made a comment about how he typically would never make me pay for my own drink, but because he left his wallet at home, that's unfortunately what had to be done. Mind you, this man has Apple Pay, and I'm guessing he probably had Venmo too. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way though, because I feel like because he made that comment about never making me pay for my own drink, he should have taken out his phone then and there and been like, hey, what's your Venmo? I'll pay you for the drink right now. But he didn't do that. So whatever, I go and get my drink. It was only $11. And while I'm getting my drink, our lane is ready. So he leaves to go get that set up. When we get to the lane, he puts in the wrong name for me in our game. Instead of Alexa, he wrote Alexis. Mind you, he had never called me Alexis once up until that point. And I called him out and I was like, you know, that's not my name, right? And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like he was acting so like embarrassed. But I was like, this is weird because you've never once called me the wrong name. Then we start playing, and as we're playing, servers will come up to us and ask us like, hey, do you guys want anything to eat or drink? So naturally, he finally gets to order his drink and they don't card him. And this made me furious because I was like, first of all, why were you not able to wait like 15 or 20 minutes while we were waiting for our lane to be ready to get your precious alcohol? But instead you had to create this elaborate plan for me to go up there and buy my own drink and then go up and buy yours too, when in the end they were just going to be serving us alcohol anyway and not even be carding us for it. Also, we're bowling. Why do you need to drink alcohol? Like, why is that so important to you on a bowling date? So I was just super frustrated at that point. And typically this is not something I would bring up, but because the situation is over and I'm just so disgusted by this man, the final thing that made my ick go over the edge was how bad this man was at bowling. I'm not good at bowling. Like, I'm lucky sometimes if I can even break 100. This man was getting gutter balls like every single shot. In fact, I have never seen such horrific bowling form in my life. He like took the ball and had his arm bent and he was throwing the ball with the same leg. And here I was afraid that I was going to give him the ick playing bowling. Again, I'm not here to shame anyone's lack of athletic abilities because like I'm not super athletic and I'm typically not the best at these sorts of things. But if you're so bad to the point where I'm like breaking 100 and you maybe have 50 points, if that, like, oh my God. And again, like I said, typically this isn't something that would be considered like a huge ick for me, but because he did so many other things up to that point that had already made me so annoyed and given me the ick, it was just like the final straw. But yeah, I still have more things that this man did that were very subtle over the dates that we went on. But now that I pieced it all together, it all makes sense.
This guy broke up with me last night, and though it was sad and I obviously shed a tear or two, there are some things that happened last night that have been making me LOL. First and foremost, I kind of knew that something was up, or just like vibes were a bit off. Okay, women know this. We knew this literally months ago, but I end up saying like something. I wrote like a little message about how I was annoyed, and he was like, totally understand, would it be helpful to talk about it? And I'm like, yes. So he ends up saying, when do you want to talk? Should we do early next week or tonight? Imagine I say early next week. Okay, yeah, let's do next Wednesday at 2. Send me the Zoom link. Like, obviously tonight, are you well? Where's the urgency? That made me laugh because I'm just thinking like, imagine if I'm like, yeah, let's do next Saturday. And then what? We still hang out and just be like talking next Saturday. Are we okay? He ends up coming over last night and he's just kind of saying that, you know, when obviously we started this, that he thought he was like ready for a relationship. And then as it progressed and, he realized in me voicing some of my needs that he wasn't able to do that. I was like, oh yeah, that's like sad. Like, I get it. That's kind of a common issue and like how it ends up ending. And he was like, yeah, and like, even I'm disappointed in me. And I was like, what? The way he was saying it was like not him. He was like, that guy crazy. Like, I am even shocked by his behavior. And I'm like, it's you. Like, he was trying to do a Where's Waldo, who done it, who hurt you. Like, it was so weird. And I literally was like, why are you speaking in third person? Because he was really saying like, yeah, like, that's not me, and I'm shocked of the way even I'm shocked. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck if you're shocked. It has to do with me. Like, what do you mean? He was trying to like be empathetic with me, and he's like, I feel your pain, the contractions are tight. And I'm like, what? Like, you can just be like, I am shitty, or I'm just like not able to do it. Don't be like, uh-oh, that guy crazy. Like, that's you. Now I feel like I'm in psychosis. It's pretty funny just because I literally was like, why are you speaking like that? He literally was like, nah, and even I'm shocked that he did that. I'm like, that is your reflection. Like, what's going on? I just feel like when men break up with you, or like they really have to say anything has to do with their emotions, they kind of like scramble. And I don't think he's like the evilest person that I've ever been with. Close. And I just like, I don't know, just be like, sorry, I fucked up and I'm ugly and broke. Like, I don't know what to say. Honestly, I really don't know what the right answer would have been there, but whatever he said was wrong. It was also funny because like when he came in originally, we've been seeing each other for like 2 months, whatever, and we get along well. Like, I didn't really think there was an issue. There was like some things that I wanted that I was like, all right, hopefully he'll like pick it up. And then he said, sorry, I have a hernia, I can't lift that much. So, that was the answer. And when he came in originally, we haven't seen each other since last week, that he, I guess we'll catch up. Like, I'm never like, hey, what's up? But he's like, so what did you do this weekend? What did you eat for breakfast? And I'm like, can we get into it? Like, no need to tell you that I ate an egg white. Like, just tell me that you don't want to do this. Like, I just like, you're wasting my time. It was just kind of funny because in the end, like, that they're like, no hate, and like, I think you're so like cool and like, and I'm like, we know that that's not what the fight's about. Okay, we're not going into what's my worth and what's my BMI. Like, we're talking about if you are able to rock with a rock star and you're not. And he kind of is like, what did he say? He's like you're so, I think you're like, so, is it accomplished was the word, or like like I admire you or something. I'm like, I'm not looking for a pupil, okay? I'm not trying to do a mentorship. Like, I don't need you to be like, I don't need your admiration. Like, I'm all right. I think, again, this isn't what we're talking about. But yeah, anyway, so truly God bless him. And then just in fashion, like, I really have to like unfollow or block people that end things with me, even if it's mutual. Yeah, even if it's mutual, just because no, you can't really like be a part of my world, and we're not friends, and I will not say hi to you on the street. Though that's what he asked when he left. He's like, so if I see you, like, can we hug or something? I'm like, if there's a taser in my pocketbook, we can hug. Sure, we can hug if there is a cop nearby and I can say, let me order an angel shot because this man is groping my chicha. But aside from that, yeah, bring it in. Anyway, literally bless his soul, if he sees this video, he might kill us. I'm sorry, I'm venting, okay? I feel like it wasn't right, okay? Because I feel like I'm cool and sick and hot, and I don't give a fuck if you weren't compatible. You make it work. You touch my body, and now you're being like, I don't know if you're straight. Like, fuck out of here.
So ladies, I really hope you enjoyed these story times. Let me tell you, the first story got me by complete surprise. When women decide to take revenge, even the devil sits down to take notes. I don't know why men don't understand that these women in 2026 right now are not playing with them. We are not here to be like their moms. We are not dumb like their grandmothers or their mothers or whoever. We are not settling for less. Like, let me tell you, I don't want to repeat everything that has already been said in the video, but I want to know what was your favorite story from this compilation. I'd really love to know in the comment section down below. So my commentary won't be so long under this video, but just a heads up, I want to introduce something new to you, something good in my next video on Monday, and I hope you love it. So have a nice weekend ahead of you, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.